just stand near the door and and then just say what you're gonna say, yeah, before we go in. Just here. Peter, what's going on? Why are we at the council?
Well, we're here again, John. When we came out a couple of weeks ago, again, standards complaint against Councillor Maggie Early, Right Independent. They haven't done the procedure correctly. They've just said that the standards board met about Councillor Maggie Early on the 7th of March. We were in on the 12th of March. They never told us they'd met. And there's no need to pursue it further. But I'm not happy with that. We can't just do that. Not when they lie through the back teeth, this shall we? And when
What have you done for Maggie?
I spent 4 days. I spent 4 days leafleting for her to get her elected. And what she done, she stabbed us in the back. Not only has she stabbed her, not just me, she stabbed other people in the back by not doing what we thought she'd do when she got elected. And that was to stand for the people of Oldham. But when she made a remark from a friend implicating me as a witterer, and I said, I want your friend's name. I said, and then you can come to my cousin who had to have his wife exhumed and meet his sons, their wives, the grandchildren, and you tell them that they're witterers. Maggie, you're a sham. You're an absolute sham. And you're gutless and you do nothing. And you've got like a Rottweiler spokesperson, John Hughes, who seems to do all the talking. John Hughes is not the elected councillor.
Yeah, I've heard him at some meetings say stuff.
Don't have it, John. There's too much and a rude shout to say, oh, people are condemning us, they're looking on the dark web. Have you heard yourself, Councillor Shearer? And you call me despicable when it were my mum and dad underwater, my cousins underwater, family and friends further underwater, and you have the cheek to call me despicable, and you hang off the arm of getaway drivers. Call the government in, Councillor Shah. Call the government in. And let's see where all this dark web's leading. Is there any truth in it? Call them in.
Right, let's go in. Let's go in, Peter. Let's go in. Come on, let's go in. Let's go in.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Was he calling in a minute there? See if he can get anyone. Hey, Bob.
Oh, no, yeah.
Constitutional Services that I am not happy with at all regarding the standards complaint I made against the councillor. And this was the reply. So I'd like this man to explain to me was all the rest. The procedure of a council when a member of the public makes a complaint against an elected councillor. I made one against Councillor Rob Blythe, the sex offender, now on the child sex offender register, and they sent me the agenda, the minutes, the date, the elected chair, the independent person that they bring in, a councillor, any declarations of interest. Where is it? Not acceptable at all.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do, if you don't mind. I'll take take your details, and I will get in contact with the complaints team and ask someone to get in contact with you.
Well,
to provide further explanation.
Well, we're not.
It won't be now.
Well, we'll be doing something.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Just as long as I'm aware.
Oh yeah. I've told him not to take any photographs.
No, that's fine.
Because, to be truthful, Paul,
Yep.
you lads here do your job. It's the councillors that stab us in the back, and the highly paid councillor. This is not. And when we saw Alex Bootef or Botef or whatever he wants to call himself, in the warning letter, I said I want the proper name. I want the proper name. Don't put address on, John. I want the proper name of that. That is not acceptable. To be gagged for speaking up to make this council a better council, a fairer council, and then they sign it with this. Oh,
Well, like I said, I'll take some details from you now. You bear with me one
yeah,
second.
we'll do. Yeah. Yeah, if you will, please.
I can take your name.
Peter Brown.
Your address,
Yeah.
That's a contact number.
Yeah. 479.
Yeah.
71. 8.
Okay, mate.
Just took all that information so I can speak to you directly to say,
Yes.
this is the letter that was sent out and we want some information.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'll ask this to be put through as an urgent, so that someone can contact you as soon as possible.
John will I'll stand here so I'm not out of everybody's way. John will film it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't think anyone will come now. I won't have anyone available. But obviously,
Are they all
yourself
working
and
from
Colin,
home?
some do, some don't. With the move over to the spindles, with the move over to the spindles, then everyone's are a bit all over the place.
Are you listening to this, councillors? Yeah. Move over to Spindles. You said the footfall in Oldham. They will have the footfall, but they're up above where the damn shop should be. It's whether they're shopping.
I'm a bit disgruntled, some of the market traders right now. I've seen on social media.
Yeah, you don't know where they stand. They have to apply for the posts that they've had for years. Are you all
I've
right?
got all the information from there. Yeah.
No, thank you so much. Listen, no problem with you people. You do a first class job, so do the security. It's our councillors that let us down, and those highly paid council officers. And that, thank you. We'll just do it. I'll try and keep your voice, unless I stand there. Where would you be there?
Either over there or in the foyer, like you say, just really, it's a bit busy with this area.
I see, yeah.
There's nobody over there. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No,
Finish this way.
Uh,
That way the ladies are
Right.
probably won't stand up.
Yeah, you got Oldham colours behind you, mate. That's all right. Craig, I should be phoning you, and I'm going to after. It's on a side note, so I'm going to contact you when I get back in.
All right, John.
Yeah, go on.
And the gentleman at the reception desk has took details of this letter. I made a standards complaint against Councillor Maggie Hurley, right, the Independent. She's not returned my calls. She's not returned my messages. I spent 4 days leafleting for Council Maggie Hurley because he said there was, grieved how this Labour-run council's run. So like most people who are grieved about this Labour-run council, I helped her out. But I feel as though I've been stabbed in the back. Now, the reason why I'm up here today is the complaint I made against Councillor Maggie Hurley. And me and you, John, we came up on the 12th. We saw Alex Bogotoff, or whatever he's called, Boteth. Never said anything. We were going to receive the letter. But to send an electorate, a member of the public of Oldham, this reply is not good enough. And the gentleman at the desk is trying to get some more information. But I'll read you the reply. Dear Mr. Brown, I write to confirm that the Council Standards Subcommittee met on Thursday, the 7th of March 2024, to consider the complaint that you had made against Councillor Maggie Hurley. The subcommittee determined that no action should be taken in respect of your complaint, and the matter is now concluded. Oh no, it isn't, Oldham Council. Oh no, it isn't Constitutional Services. And it's the same Constitutional Services where 2018-19, I submitted a 1,147 public signatures to immediately remove highly paid council officers and councillors who lie, deceive, collude against the public while holding public office. And what did they do? They shelved it. Now, Eric Cathro, when he came to my home, said, I can't look into why it wasn't followed up, as the council officers have left and the chief exec, Dr. Caroline Wilkins, has left. No, they hadn't left. No, they hadn't. Liz Drogan, head of Constitutional Services, was still there. Now, I know she might have left now, but this has come from Constitutional Services. What are you playing at, Constitutional Services? What you're playing at? The proper reply I should have had was the agenda, the date, the time it started, the time it finished. So you knew how long they discussed this complaint, and also the elected chair, the name of the independent person, so they could more or less say, well, we did it fairly. We got an elected person in, another councillor, and any declarations of interest. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, sorry, John. It's come to my attention. The last time I made a standards complaint against Councillor Rob Blythe, who I got his best mate, another Lib Dem councillor, to sit on the panel, and there were no declarations of interest received in my letters, and yet there was. The borough solicitor covered it up. So it's not open, it's not honest, it's not a transparent council. Well, it's not going to happen again with Maggie Hurley. I'm not doing 4 days walking the streets and electing somebody when they stab us in the back. You're worse, right? Independents. You're worse than the Labour councillors. You're one of our own. And you made a remark, Councillor Maggie Hurley, that a friend, and this was one of the reasons why I made the complaint, that a friend had said to you that you'll never win with Peter, is always claiming the victim. What did I do, Maggie? I said, give me your friend's name and address, where I can pass it on to my cousin after 50 years of marriage, 3.5 years of horrendous cancer treatment, that are to be exhumed from the ground that this council grossly neglected. Grossly neglected. So give me that friend's name.
Have they done any work on? They have worked on the cemetery, haven't they? They have done a bit of work on the cemetery.
John, in all fairness, I've been up, and I'd like a freedom of information if you'll help me with it, because I want to know how much it cost 9 years ago to do the culvert at the back, how much it cost to do the historic stone culvert that they blamed on Storm Christoph and melting snow, and yet we didn't have any, and also a drain that they'd done last year. Early this year.
Yeah, after we done a video about it. Yeah.
Where I'd stand in and they'd let flood. Now I've been up, I go up regular once a week, see my family and all my friends. Great. My mum and dad. And it is, I'll give them fairness. I work on the ground, I work for farms, and the ground is sodden. And it's holding its own. Why has it took over 9 years? Why is it on an exhumation? And for our council leader, Arud Shah, you nasty lady, you vile nasty lady, in my opinion, that you said that I was despicable for raising my concerns to get my own agenda at the council. There was no agenda. If you'd have done your job regarding Rob Blythe and all the other councillors.
1 minute. So you were one of the first people to publicly speak out in Oldham against child sexual exploitation. You weren't the first.
No, John.
No, in a council meeting. I know Debbie had done, but you did.
Yeah, but I
bit of a-
wasn't nowhere near. There were people far. My influence was holding councillors to account and the cemetery issue. I did go with the CSC exploitation group to sort of strengthen the misdemeanors, the gross incompetence of the gang rape of.
So this is, guys, who's watching the stream now. This is before the official Oldham child sexual exploitation scandal report got released. So Peter has been going to the council before that. A lot of people are only involved because it's only just been released, but Peter was on it before that. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Peter was on it before that. Before me, Peter was on it. I did talk about it, but I'd not publicly said anything in a meeting. Peter had publicly said something in an Oldham Council meeting about it, and this was before the review come out, guys. This is why he's a legendary Peter Brown. Knows what he's talking. Go on, Peter.
I've got to put that straight. It wasn't councillor then, but it was Warren Bates and Ewan MacDonald, the JP, that worked together. They were the first. Then I think Roger Meir, Debbie Barrett Cole, and then I latched on.
But you did. But the thing is, Peter had stood up in a council meeting and said his piece. That's what I mean. And it says big enough bollocks just to show your face on social media. But Peter did that at Oldham Council. That's why we should always respect the guy. This is why he, to me, is legendary. Sorry.
No, John, I thank you for coming out because we can't get it out there without you. Well, I was gagged last year for 12 months. I've been gagged for a year and a half of holding them to account. I was assaulted and intimidated on the 13th of December last year with Palestinian pro-protesters. We're Oldham. We want Oldham to be seen to. If these people want help, then there's two MPs, Debbie Abrams, Jim McMahon, then they go to them. But there is no government minister can intervene in the day-to-day running of a local authority. So what can the local authority do? Means diddly Scott. They're playing lip service when they say, we can do this, we can do that. You can do bugger all.
Yeah.
You have two MPs. Take the issue up. We have three MPs, Angela Rayner. You take that issue up, but credit to that elderly man, a Muslim Asian man who spoke up, not this time, but the last, what would it be, February's council meeting, where he spoke up on his own. Credit to him. He's got my full admiration that he stood there for what he believed in and he was dragged down.
Yeah,
and I believe he's had a heart attack.
Yeah,
I hope that man is feeling better. I hope he does what...
He wasn't part of any mob or anything.
No,
he was
weren't.
on his own. He tried to speak out in the council chamber, and it did look on the video that we've seen and the action did look like he was like forcibly ejected. So a lot of people were angry about that across the board. All the people who, Peter and other people who go regular, they were all angry about the way he was treated, this old guy. and apparently, allegedly, you're supposed to have had a bit of an incident on way out. But we're not sure fully yet what's going on that level. There's been no police
Been nothing.
involved, has there?
Well, I don't know. You don't see nothing of it. I mean, the press are there portraying the council that it's the absolute bee's knees. Talking about bee's knees, Mr. Andy Burnham, we got on one of your bee buzzes an hour late, and then two 409s came right at back of one another. You need to sharp yourselves with timetable, Mr. Burnham. I think we've all been bloody stung. I just thought I'd put that in.
There's a
Take a
bit-
picture of this, John.
I
'cause this
can't
is-
really take a picture, but I can show it.
Well,
Sure.
dear, this is a so-called signature by someone who gagged me. They can't even put their own proper signature. Now, when we came up, you and me, on the 12th of this month, and we saw this Alex Boutef or Bogtoff, whatever he's called, and I said, I want a proper signature. Where's it come, John? Talk about trying to take the neck out of you. So when they've sent this letter, which is now the use of bloody ornament regarding the standard subcommittee hearing, and then there's a gagging order. You don't want me to speak up, Councillor Shah. I mean, no dark web. I want the truth. Get that in your head. I've come here to make you a better council. And if you don't want to take me up on my invitation for you to speak to your council officers and all your councillors how to be honest, open, transparent, then that's your problem. You're not going to shut me up. Any misdemeanours regarding me personally, my family, I will hold you to account. Simple as that. The role of a councillor, John, going back to Councillor Maggie Hurley, the role of a councillor, act as corporate parents to look after children in the borough. They covered up the CSE. Maggie, get your voice back. It's all right down at Royton Band Club gobbing it off. I said, but when you're in the council chamber, you're like a pop cat.
Can I just get in, guys? If what I get in Oldham is people think that like child sexual exploitation is just to one area, like the town centre or something like that. Unfortunately, it's not like that. It's every area in Oldham. I've already come across it. Talked to two parents in this past 2 years from Hollingwood, guys, from Hollingwood, from my area where I'm running. So it's always going to be a big thing on my leaflets to do with Hollingwood and Oldham about child sexual exploitation. I just want to get that in because it just doesn't happen in particular areas like people think. And if it wasn't for the Rochdale scandal coming out, we wouldn't have even had this Oldham scandal because we know that it was intimately linked to the Rochdale scandal. So we would not have had Oldham's report if nothing had happened in Rochdale. But it did happen in Rochdale. It pushed Oldham to investigate and have a report done. So I just want people to know that it's not just your particular little area that you want to sort out. It's a full town issue. It's never just one area, it's a full town. And you lot, some of you councillors and independents think that once you're in, that you don't have to worry about other places. That's why none of you turned up at Rochdale when you should have done, really. And if you'd listened to people like me, I would have told you how intimately linked Rochdale and Oldham are and stuff like that. Now, George, I just want to get this in. George Galloway is going to be looking into Billy's stuff. So that means there's going to be pressure on Oldham if he finds out anything. So that means that the council are going to have to be held to account. And if we hold Rochdale Council to account, then we're going to be able to push to hold Oldham Council to account. So that's why you should be supporting everything that's going on in Rochdale right now. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Peter.
No, it's all right, John. It gives me a break. Oldham Council, the role of a councillor. You've just said about some councillors, and in it says balance different interests identified within the borough, ward or electoral division, and represent the borough, ward or electorate division as a whole. So you councillors who think, oh, it's not my ward, You're there as a whole. Because if you're like me and you've got umbrage that Councillor Early has taken on me, where's my representation? You can't have it. And this is why the 7 principles which I put down against Maggie Early, because she said text a statement from a friend that you will get nowhere with me, Peter, as he's always claiming the victim. I asked Rob Bly for his help. He's a child paedophilia. His tenure on the Child Sex Offenders Register for downloading Category A child pornography. They covered it up. Who did it affect? Were it you what were going to put charges on for extra light, for maintenance, where us as tenants, we looked after our own floor? So where have you got this? Where's your friend? Were it her? Did it happen to her? No, it happened to me. So it was personal to me. The exhumation of my cousin and my family being underwater. Did it happen to your friend Maggie Early? Or did it happen to my family? It happened to me. You know, you need to look, but you didn't even give us the courtesy of a reply. But the 7 principles, and it says holders of public office should act solely in terms of the public's interest. You haven't, Maggie Hurley. You've took word of a friend. You're being strings, you're like a puppet. You're being pulled, except for your gob with John Hughes. John Hughes is your gob. But you're being pulled by your arms and the legs by a non-elected person. This is not what I walked 4 days for pushing leaflets through to get you elected. You've never got back to the phone call. You've never took the messages. You've not replied. Holders of public office must act and take decisions impartially, fairly, and on merit, using the best evidence and without discrimination or bias. You didn't see it. If you know what's happening. Accountability. Holders of public office are accountable to the public for their decisions and actions and must submit themselves to the scrutiny necessary to issue. I made a standards complaint against you, Maggie Early. I sent you a text. Were you in on that standards complaint? You've not replied. You're not replying to the texts. You know, this is not what I want. And I will hold you to account as your party, Right and Independence, is not above the people of Oldham who walk the streets and get you elected. Openness. Holders of public office should act and take decisions in open and transparent manner. Why did you and John Hughes ask me to leave? Well, it wasn't you because you hardly speak. Why did John Hughes, at my invite, as you, with Saeed Osman and Nazir Dad, to go through that cemetery issue? Why did you ask me to leave? And why did John Hughes have to be told to be kept quiet by Saeed Osman? And it was the deputy chief exec butting in. You took over. Shame on you. Holders of public office should be truthful. I've said to you, don't take notice of any friends. You've known me, you've seen all the letters, make your own decision. Have you got back, Maggie Early? No, you haven't. So this went down on the standards complaint. She breached some of the 7 principles in public life. She also breached members' code of conduct, where members and cooperative members must behave accordingly to the highest standards of personal conduct as everything you do. Members should only serve the public's interest and should never improperly confer an advantage or disadvantage on any person. You made a remark from your friend, Councillor Maggie Early, discriminating me and my family as what do they call it?
Mitherers.
Mitherers. You'll never win. You'll never win. It's all victims. We have been a victim. You have not been a victim. Accountability. Members should be accountable to the public for their actions and the manner in which they carry out their responsibilities, and should cooperate fully and honestly without any scrutiny and appropriate to their particular office.
Right, right. Can I just, sorry, can I go back to the cemetery? So there was some work done on the cemetery. I know it took a while, and you were sort of like half gaslighted and that, weren't you, while it were doing? But we did finally get a bit of work done on the
We
cemetery.
got a lot of work done, but unfortunately, Barbara Brownridge, cabinet member, wanted my cousin's phone number when he were going through the Home Office to have Susan exhumed. You know, he had a breakdown. He had a breakdown. His sons were devastated. How would you like to see your family like under Hollingworth Lake? And had he'd have cancelled that, Susan would have been underwater for another year. Another year and a half. They did nothing. They dragged their feet. But how long did it take them to give £1 million to Oldham Athletic? There's a millionaire who owns it, and yet they give £1 million. And last night I heard that Oldham Council have given the Blue Coat School £3.5 million. £3.5 million. So I'd like to know how much it cost them to do that drainage work that it took them 3 years to do. But when Blue Coat School wants £3.5 million of our money, and Oldham Athletic £1 million of ours, how long does it take them to do that? There's regarding Ruth Shah again. I mean, she asked for a meeting to try and clear the conscience, though that lady has no conscience. We mean diddly squat to her. She's a very arrogant, nasty lady, in my opinion. Not fit to be a council leader, in my opinion, again. But to say that I was despicable to get my own agenda, don't cross me. You want me to make you a better council to run? Let me invite you to speak out to your highly paid council officers and your councillors how we, the people of Oldham, want our council to be run. We want you to be open, honest, transparent. 3 of the things that you don't do.
But we're not open, honest, and transparent, and they can make their own laws and judgments, can't they, the council, because they don't come under the Government Act, do they?
They
And they're
come under, John, they come under the
Localism
Localism Act,
Act.
which Ruth Shah, she condemns the Conservative Council, but as this Labour Council had been under central government rule, you would not have been able to continue selling assets, spending money, putting council tax up, misdemeanours in any way, because the central government would have held you to account.
Yeah, and this is what's wrong with our council.
But she doesn't say that. Oh, she condemns them. Oh, they've stopped our money. We're not getting the money. They've let you squander
It's
your
nothing to
bloody
do. It's
money.
nothing to do with money from central government. It's to do with how that money's spent and who's spending it. If you look at Birmingham, Birmingham's troubles are nothing to do with central government. It wasn't central government that decided to give everyone fair pay rises. It was Birmingham Council. It wasn't central government that told them to get that new IT system in. It was Birmingham Council. So don't stop government, even though you get less money of them for funding, because it's how it's spent and who spends it is the problem, not how much money you're getting off central government. And the left love to do that, but like I've just said, I'll give you one example. Birmingham, it's nothing to do with central government. Why Birmingham's gone bankrupt, it's to do with its own council and the people who run it. So stop saying that and stop blaming central government when it's not central government's fault every time. It's more likely to be the council and the people who run the council and who make the decisions. And that's exactly what Peter's saying, innit?
This is the frightening thing. And I went to Jim McMahon's office about it. And he took a screenshot of it. And it was from a Mohammed Nadeem to a Ruth Shah. I'm not into politics, Aruj, but we go back a long way. And if anyone, and I mean anyone, gives you grief in any form or way, just give us a shout, and believe me, they will never vote again. What's that? Is that a threat? And Arood Shah has replied, Mohammed Nadeem, oh, thank you. I'm blessed to have friends like you. This, Jim McMahon's office took a screenshot. This came out on a group, and Jim McMahon says, when I told him I'll never vote for Labour, well, I knew you wouldn't. You're a member of Raja Mia's. I said, I don't pay subscription. If any free broadcasts are on, I look at them. I said, but I speak and I'll vote for whoever tells the truth. Now, if this Labour-run council thinks that the dark web, after hearing that, is going on with people wanting to hold this council to account, I suggest that all the independents, all the Liberal Democrats, the Conservatives, bring in the government and put an end to it. You know, there's a threat to people's lives. There's council tax going up. We've got DOS houses coming up left, right, and centre. Don't care what you call them, HMOs. They're DOS houses. When I were growing up, they were DOS houses. But all those people in the section that were underwater, they were cotton mill workers. They had 2 weeks a year holiday. They flogged themselves to death. They got bissing horses through the cotton dust. Whether it was
White privilege in Oldham. Go on.
whether it
Sorry,
was
go on.
well, all national.
Yeah,
You know, people came from Pakistan, India to work in the cotton mills. Their health were put at risk like ours. But if you think there's misdemeanors going on the dark web after hearing that and me reading that, then call in the government.
Imagine if I'd have wrote something like that and agreed to a post like that, I would be all over social media. I'd be front page of Hope Not Here and everything, but obviously other people get away with it, don't they, unfortunately. Go on, Peter, go on.
Right, these are three that are right independents that I walk the blinking streets for and then to be kicked in the teeth. Right? And what does Maggie Earley say? We're working for the people of Oldham and for the people of Brighton. You've turned your back on me, it's stabbed me in the back. And our children, Amanda Chadderton as council leader and a team of Labour blocked a motion calling for a public inquiry into the grooming gangs. We have nothing to hide. We will call the government in. We do not care how many votes it may cost us. Our children deserve justice. You've never said a damn word, Councillor Maggie Earley. You've took your 10
There's a little
grand.
bit of a section there about 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of something. Every one of my leaflets has had double that on. And I've said about the council being held to account. I've pointed the finger at the police as well and councillors on mine. But no, it's on hers. That's good. But you know, like I said, it's half a page of a leaflet on mine when I put on about it. But you know, that's what I like to see, people talking about it. But go on, Peter.
Well,
Sorry.
you never achieved nothing. Or are you waiting to try and get another councillor? But when you stood up at Brighton Bank Club wanting to be a councillor, Maggie Earley, oh, you had a mouth on you then. But when you're in, you don't say nothing. Is it because John Hughes can't sit at the side here, and yet his daughter is standing for the next elections? His daughter's standing. Are you going to pull her strings like you're pulling Maggie's? Sick of it, John. Absolutely sick of it. People of Oldham deserve more.
Let me just read this. So I didn't see this on the other part of the leaflet. It's whilst Jim McMahon and previous MP council leaders hid behind allegations of racism and far-right conspiracies in a desperate attempt to cover up the grooming gangs, Amanda Chatterton tried a different approach. Apparently, we can't say the lives of children were destroyed. This is what she said in council. Presumably, why she and every other Labour Party councillor blocked a vote for a public inquiry twice. Well, I mean, I want to say something about this. They always say things like that, but if we read the Ritchie report in 2001, and And it tells you that the council is to blame for not dealing with issues within the borough. And this is the same here, they've not dealt with these issues within the borough, then it's easy to blame people and shout things like far right and stuff like that, them buzzwords. But it's a council's fault and the police's fault. It's not anyone outside of Oldham. It's not anyone in Bury or Bolton. It's Oldham Council and Oldham Police. So stop pointing the finger at everyone else around the country, invisible people who you think are nasty far right people, when it's none of them people's fault. It's the council's fault. Otherwise,
John,
these people wouldn't come up.
simple can end it. Call in the government, let the government look for the council's finances, how it's being run, then we'll have to decide on that. Now, I know there's going to be a general election after the May elections for councillors, but for everybody who sees this, get in contact with your newly elected or re-elected MP and call in the government. And they're going to have to call in. If there's a waste of money, public assets are being sold off cheap. But we're going back to Councillor Maggie Early again. The pledges, the town's governance is in disarray and the Labour Party is in turmoil. The constant failure of regeneration schemes and the millions of pounds of wasted taxpayers' money has had a detrimental effect on the entire borough. Right, well, do something. Don't keep sat there with your gob shut, Councillor Maggie Early. Do something. Do something. If you've got the guts to stand up in a band club wanting people to vote for you, what did you say on the streets? Did you say about the safeguarding of our children? Did you say about the total waste of money? Because I haven't heard you say nothing. I've heard you nothing. But don't you dare call me from a friend after the problems I've had and my family's had regarding this council's failure. How dare you, Councillor Maggie Early? And no, I definitely won't be voting for any damn independent.
Great leaflet for 2023, but don't say anything about immigration. Can't see anything about government money. Ukraine, where we're sending all this money. Remember, if we didn't send the billions to Ukraine, then that would be more money to give from central government to give to our towns and cities. And they always moan about money from central government. So stop funding all these shitty, corrupt wars and let's put the money back to the government so they can give us more funding, more money from central government. It's a simple thing. Ukraine has cost us, what, 10 billion so far, and we're still giving money. Hotel bills and all that lot already comes to billions a year. So if we didn't have all that, we could put that money into central government to give back to the councils and that, and then we'd have more money.
John,
So think
listen,
about that.
boys. Let's step one human being wanting to kill another human being, no matter where they're from, end the wars. Because at Armistice Day, all the council leaders, all the politicians, every head of state will stand there with a poppy and a cross and play a ring. And yet nothing's done. More wars.
Yeah, more wars.
And the way politics is now, it's like a gang. It's not a political party. Your gang is better than my gang. And that's what it is. It's a sleazy occupation.
It is. Don't
And we
say that.
suffer.
I want to get into politics.
Well, I'm hoping that, John, but we need people that will stand up, not like the Royton Independents who stabbed us in the back. And I know I've slagged off the Royton Independents, but Brian Orban, if you listen to this, Councillor Brian Orban, I've been waiting 2 months for this meeting. I've left you on team messages. You've not got back. So Brian Orban doesn't answer his phone. Arud Shah didn't answer a phone. You've got Maggie Hurley doesn't answer the phone. How much are we paying these councillors to have their phone and they don't reply? Not every one of us is computer illiterate. We're not. We're not computer literate. We need the phone. I don't want to get involved. frightened to death of being scammed out, so on, so forth. I don't want it. But for the people of Oldham listening to this, don't want allegations of our council leader hanging off the arm of a getaway driver. I don't want to hear of all the selling of public buildings assets to cheap, to palsy wowsies. I don't want the misdemeanors carrying on, calling the government. Simple. You don't want me keep speaking out, calling the government, but you think you can shut me up at full council meetings, holding you lot to account. Oh, and on that broadcast, Eddie Moyes, Deputy Mayor, it all comes out he's on the governors at Blue Court. He's on the governors at Blue Court, where Oldham Council's given 3.5 million for more buildings. Doesn't that come under central government? No wonder he's pally with our friend Canon Earlston, who sits presiding at full council meetings. Oh, no one, thank you, Jean. Yeah, is that what it is? Well, you give them 3.5 million of our money, and we've got food banks. There's no public social housing. When the central government brought in the right to buy, where people worry about jobs, there were an incentive if you've lived in a council flat, house, whatever, to buy that property. Yeah, they jumped at it. But didn't they realise that the houses that were going to be lost? We're cutting off now.
I'm going to say, do you want
No,
to do it round there
we're
just so I get a bit more room?
We're finished. We've had enough time. Thank you so much. We're finishing, John.
Right, can I just say something? What we're going to say, what we're going to say, central government. Just trying to think of something I was going to say there.
See you. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's get outside. So Peter, so we've done a bit on video. I'll be able to edit that and cut it up, make some shorter pieces for it, which I'm going to do. But
it's not going to stop, is it?
well, let's think outside the box and do something a bit different afterwards. And we'll talk about this offline. But we're going to think outside the box and do something a little bit more different. And I've already been talking to Peter this morning and suggested probably go down to Royton, the Royton area where Maggie lives, and do some videos around there about the area and anything else against Royton independence. But you know, like I said, a lot of the stuff here is not to do with central government. Our money issues aren't that. It's how it's spent within the councils, because Birmingham Council is under fire and it's nothing to do with central government.
It isn't. They just flash out.
Yeah.
Whoever's in power, whatever political party, they blame the other. It's as simple as that. It's gone on for I don't know how many years, but it's gradually going worse.
Yeah.
They're making themselves look shoddy, incompetent, and bloody wrong. But
agreed.
regarding this, you know, please don't ridicule people for wanting to make Oldham a better place when it affects the family. I don't want my own kind slagging me off when my family's underwater, when I'm protesting to try and get people to vote, because this council is in because of block Muslim votes. And we whites, you know, us people, we seem not to bother. You know, good on them if that was what they want to do. But for heaven's sake, to the people of Oldham, how many times if you don't want to, if you want to better your life, just vote, get a postal vote. But for heaven's sake, you're spoiling it for everybody else. And to all those people that probably don't vote, I'm watching you. And when your dog shits and you don't pick it up, and school children are walking in it, and people are treading in the hub, are you the type of people that slag me off, holding you lot to account? It's a shame. We've got statues in Oldham where people fought like hell, and they were women. Great, you know, great on them. That's women for you. They stand by and do the job. We'll speak again, John.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, National Housing Party, donate, share. We've got my election coming up in May. Elections up in May, guys. May the 2nd. If you want help and you're in Oldham, got a little team. But if you want help further, let me know. I've got 7,000 leaflets to get out. And got an election. And this is the next 2 years now is important for me. I give myself a 5-year. And within this next 2 years, when I'm going to get a big bottom. Brew, actually, if we want to go back to well, I mean, Pam's in Wetherspoons, isn't she? Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm ending stream, guys, and I'll catch you all later on. Tomorrow night, 8 PM, our weekly stream. Got guest on, Sydney Jones, citizen journalist. That'll be tomorrow. That'll be interesting. But we're off for a coffee now. So I'll catch you all later. Thank you for tuning in. And God bless you, Craig. God bless Craig's not well, one of our members.
Speedy recovery, Craig.
Yeah. God bless you, mate. God bless you.